I thought I knew my fiancée. I thought our love was unbreakable. But one wild night at her bachelorette party changed everything. What I saw in that hotel room will haunt me forever. She wasn't just flirting. She wasn't just drunk. She was with four men at the same time, giving herself to them with no shame, no guilt, only pleasure. And I saw it all. It started with the texts. Emily was glowing, excited. "Can't wait for my bachelorette party," she wrote. At first, I smiled. I had planned to give her the ultimate engagement gift, a quiet night with our closest friends, but she had other plans. Her friends were all in on it. The group chat buzzed endlessly, emojis, inside jokes, countdowns. I tried not to overthink it. Bachelorette parties were supposed to be fun, right? Just harmless fun. But as I watched her get ready, something felt off. She was different. There was an intensity in her eyes I hadn't seen before. A thrill, a hunger. My heart pounded. I wanted to ask her what it was, but I didn't. I thought maybe it was just excitement. She left with her friends, and I stayed behind, trying to distract myself with the TV. But the feeling wouldn't leave me. A sense of unease settled deep in my chest. Every few minutes, my phone buzzed. I ignored the first few texts, assuming they were just jokes. But then one came through that made me freeze. "You'll never believe what's going to happen tonight." Smiling face with horns. I didn't know who it was from, but the thrill in her words, it sent chills down my spine. I tried to brush it off, convincing myself I was overthinking. Emily loved me. She had to. But as the night stretched on, my gut tightened with a fear I couldn't shake. Hours later, I received a picture from her. It was blurry, taken in low light. I couldn't make out the details at first, but I could feel my blood run cold. Something in the photo, it was her, but not the Emily I knew. She was in a room full of shadows, smiles I didn't recognize. And in the corner, I saw him, and then another man. My vision blurred. My hands shook. I didn't want to believe it. I tried to rationalize it. Maybe it was a joke. Maybe it was staged. But deep down, I already knew. My fiancée, my Emily, was crossing lines I never imagined. And I was powerless to stop it. By the time I called her, my mind raced with panic and confusion. "Em, are you okay?" I asked, voice trembling. "Oh, I'm fine," she said, her tone bright, innocent. "Having the best night ever. Don't worry about me. You'll hear all about it tomorrow," winking face. I hung up, my chest tight, a storm of dread settling over me. I wanted to protect her, to confront her, but I also wanted to hide from the truth. I had no idea that the nightmare was only beginning. The hotel corridor was empty, except for the faint echo of heels on the polished floor. I stopped outside the door, my hand hovering over the handle, heart hammering like it wanted to escape my chest. Inside, I could hear it. Emily, gasping and moaning softly, sounds I had never imagined she would make. Not with me. Not like this. My stomach turned, my hands trembled. I pushed the door open just a crack and froze. There she was. Emily, in the center of the chaos, with four men around her. They were all there at the same time, moving, touching, whispering, and she didn't stop. Her head tilted back, eyes half closed, completely lost in the moment. There was no shame, no hesitation, just a raw, almost frightening pleasure. One of the men glanced at the door and smirked. "Well, look who decided to show up," he said casually, as if he knew exactly what I was seeing. My heart pounded so hard I thought it would break. I couldn't look away. Every sound, every motion, made the room spin. She was giving herself to all of them at once, completely unrestrained, and the sight made my chest tighten as if someone had crushed it. Emily's eyes flicked toward me for a brief second, a flash of recognition. And then she smiled. Bright, teasing, almost triumphant. "You're here early," she said, her voice light, but the sound behind it, her moans, the whispers, the chaos around her, made it impossible to focus. I wanted to scream. I wanted to pull her out of there. But I couldn't move. I was trapped, watching the woman I loved in a way I never thought I would see, surrounded by four men, completely lost to herself and to them. I stepped forward, my legs shaking, my voice barely a whisper. "Emily, stop. Please." She tilted her head, her lips curling into that same teasing smile that had haunted me since I opened the door. "Stop? Why would I stop? You're here now, isn't that exciting?" The four men glanced between us, grinning, sensing my panic. "Relax, buddy," one of them said, leaning back casually. "She's having fun." "Fun?" The word echoed in my skull, sharp and cruel. I felt like I was suffocating. This isn't fun, I choked out. This isn't us. Emily's laughter, or the soft, breathy sound she made, cut through me like ice. Oh, sweetheart, it's me now. Don't you get it? Tonight. I'm not yours. I stumbled back, the world spinning around me. My hands clenched, fists white. Not yours. Emily, how can you? She interrupted me with a shake of her head, like my words were meaningless. You're thinking too much. You're taking it too seriously. Just watch. Or leave. I wanted to run. I wanted to pull her away. But the sight held me in place, like some terrible spell. She was smiling at all four of them, moaning softly, alive in a way I had never imagined. Alive at my expense. One of the men leaned closer, whispering something into her ear, and she shivered, gasping again. I felt my stomach twist in knots, my chest aching. Then she looked at me, straight in the eyes. No guilt, no shame, only pure delight. The smile on her face wasn't teasing me. It was triumphant. Alive in a way I could never reach, completely lost in them, completely untouchable. I wanted to scream. I wanted to make her stop. But she didn't even notice my pain. She was gone, gone from us, gone from me. And the sight of her like that shattered everything I thought I knew. I couldn't move. My hands were frozen at my sides, my chest burning, my mind screaming at me to leave. But I couldn't. I was trapped in the doorway, forced to watch the woman I loved disappear before my eyes. She was laughing, or something close to it, a breathy, sharp sound that made my stomach knot. Every move she made, every gasp, every shiver of delight was magnified by the presence of the four men. She wasn't hiding, she wasn't apologetic. She was thriving, giving herself fully to all of them at once. And I was powerless. Emily, this isn't you. I whispered, stepping forward. Her head flicked toward me briefly. For a second, I thought I might reach her, that maybe she'd stop. But then she turned back to them, arching into their touch, moaning softly again. She didn't even flinch at my voice. She didn't acknowledge me. She wasn't mine tonight. One of the men caught my gaze and smirked. Enjoying the show, he said, mockingly calm. I felt my knees weaken. This is wrong. She's. I couldn't even finish the sentence. Emily glanced at me again, smiling, as if she was daring me to leave. But there was no malice in her expression, only pure, unfiltered pleasure. She had crossed a line I didn't even know existed, and she was celebrating it openly. I wanted to rush in, to pull her away, to stop this nightmare. But my body refused to obey. I was frozen by shock, horror, and heartbreak. Every gasp, every moan, every laugh she made cut into me like knives. And then it hit me. This wasn't just a mistake. This wasn't a one-time lapse. This was her choice. She had wanted this, and I was nothing more than a spectator to her betrayal. I sank to the floor, my hands covering my face. I could still see her, hear her, feel the room spin around me. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't process it. My fiancée, the woman I had planned to spend my life with, had chosen all of them over me, and she didn't even feel bad. The door closed softly behind me in my mind, though I hadn't moved. And in that moment, I understood. Everything I thought we had was gone. I couldn't stay on the floor any longer. My body moved on its own, dragging me closer, like some desperate part of me refused to let go. Emily, please, I whispered, my voice breaking. Stop. Just stop for me. She didn't even look at me. Not really. Her eyes were half-lidded, her lips curved into a soft, satisfied smile as she leaned back against one of the men. Stop, she murmured, almost mockingly. Why would I stop? This is amazing. One of the men caught my gaze, casually resting a hand on her shoulder. See? She's happy. Isn't that enough? I shook my head violently. No. This isn't happiness. You're destroying us. Her laugh, low, breathy, intoxicating, echoed in the room. Destroying you? She asked, as if the concept was absurd. Oh, sweetheart, look at me. Look what I'm feeling. I've never been more alive. Don't you see? I'm happy, not guilty, not sorry. Not for you. Not for anyone. I felt my chest tighten. My throat burned. I wanted to yell, to scream, to make her understand, but she didn't want to understand. She chose this. And the realization hit me like a freight train. There was no turning back. Every movement, every moan, every laugh she made confirmed it. She wasn't conflicted. She wasn't remorseful. She was enjoying herself fully, completely, recklessly, and I was left to watch my world crumble. I sank back against the wall, trembling, unable to process the sight. The woman I loved, the one I had trusted above all else, was gone, replaced by someone I didn't recognize. Someone who thrived on betrayal. I wanted to beg her, to plead with her, to fight for what we had. But the truth was undeniable. She had already crossed the point of no return. And I was powerless. The sounds of the room, the gasps, the whispers, the soft laughter, all of it burned into my mind. I realized, with a horror that made my stomach twist, that this night would haunt me forever. I couldn't stop watching. Every movement, every sound, every gasp from Emily carved itself into my mind. For men, all at once. She was moving with them, leaning into each of them, completely consumed. And she wasn't hiding it. She was showing it off, enjoying every second, lost in pleasure while my chest felt like it was splitting open. One of the men glanced at me again, a cocky smirk on his face. "You okay there, man? Watching your fiancée like this?" I couldn't speak. My throat felt raw, my mind spinning. I wanted to run, to escape, to pretend I hadn't seen it, but I couldn't tear my eyes away. Emily's head tilted back, her hair falling over her shoulders, her lips parted in gasps and whispers. I could see it all, the way she was giving herself to them, completely, fully, without a trace of guilt or shame. And she loved it. She caught my gaze again. For a moment, our eyes met, and in hers there was nothing I recognized. Nothing but pure delight. No remorse. No fear. No hesitation. Just pleasure. I fell to my knees. The room spun. My hands covered my face, but I could still see. I could still hear. I could still feel the crushing weight of betrayal pressing down on me. Every soft moan, every laugh, every whispered word they shared was a dagger in my chest. "Emily, how can you do this?" I croaked, barely able to breathe. She tilted her head, smiling faintly. "Do what, love? Live. Feel. Enjoy. Enjoy this with them?" My voice broke completely. Her laugh, soft, breathy, intoxicating, was like a taunt. "Why shouldn't I? Don't you see? This is who I am. Not yours. Not bound to you. And tonight, I'm free. I'm happy. And I want it all." The words hit me like a physical blow. I want it all. She wasn't ashamed. She wasn't sorry. She chose this over me, over everything we had promised each other. And the realization burned me from the inside out. I slid against the wall, trembling. The room, the sounds, the sight of her with 4 men, it would never leave me. And for the first time, I understood the truth. Some betrayals aren't mistakes. Some are deliberate. Some are choices. And this one was hers. I couldn't stay in that room any longer. My legs gave out beneath me as I stumbled toward the hallway, but my eyes never left Emily. She was moving with them, laughing softly, moaning, alive in a way that left no room for me in her world. I sank against the wall outside the door, trembling. My hands were shaking, my chest aching, my mind screaming in disbelief. Every breath I took felt like inhaling fire. The woman I had trusted with my entire heart had chosen them over me. I tried to understand, tried to rationalize it. Maybe it was the alcohol. Maybe it was the party. Maybe it was a mistake. But no, the way she moved, the way she smiled, the way her eyes lit up, it wasn't a mistake. It was deliberate. She was enjoying every second, completely unashamed. "Emily," I whispered into the empty hallway, my voice cracking. How could you?" Her laughter floated out of the room, soft and breathy. "Could I what?" she asked casually, as if speaking to a stranger. "Have fun? Feel alive? Enjoy myself?" I pressed my hands to my face, unable to comprehend the words. This is betrayal. You're destroying everything." She didn't respond. She didn't need to. Every sound, every gasp, every movement from inside that room confirmed it. She had crossed a line I could never forgive. And worse, she didn't even want my forgiveness. She didn't even feel guilty. I sank to the floor, my back against the wall, the world spinning around me. My trust, my love, my dreams. They were all gone, scattered across that hotel room like broken glass. And the sight of her, alive and unashamed, laughing softly with 4 men, would haunt me forever. I realized then that nothing could bring her back to me. Nothing could undo what I had seen. The Emily I loved was gone. And in her place was someone I couldn't recognize, someone who had chosen pleasure over us, desire over love, freedom over loyalty. And I was left with nothing but the echo of her laughter and the unbearable weight of betrayal. I didn't sleep. I didn't eat. I barely breathed. All night, the images of her, Emily, alive with 4 men, laughing, moaning, enjoying herself without a shred of guilt, haunted me. Every memory replayed in my mind like a nightmare I couldn't wake up from. By the time morning came, I was a hollow version of myself, trembling, exhausted, broken. The hallway outside the hotel room felt endless. I didn't want to move, didn't want to face what I already knew would happen. Then the door opened. Emily stepped out, her hair slightly messy, a carefree smile on her lips. She looked at me like nothing had happened, like I wasn't crumpled on the floor, like last night had been nothing but a fun game. "Morning," she said cheerfully. "Sleep well." I could barely find my voice. "Emily, we need to talk." My words were hoarse, fragile. "About last night. What happened? How could you?" She waved her hand lightly, dismissing me. "Oh, come on. Don't be dramatic. It was just a party. You're overthinking. Everyone had fun." I felt like the air had been knocked out of me. "Fun? Emily, you were with them, 4 men at the same time. Do you even realize what that means?" She tilted her head, smiling faintly, like my outrage was amusing. "I know what it means. And it felt incredible. Honestly, I loved every second. You should be happy for me." Happy for her? The words burned in my chest. I sank against the wall, shaking, my heart splitting in two. You don't even feel bad?" "Nope," she said casually, stretching. "Why would I? I'm free. I'm alive. And last night was perfect." I couldn't speak. I couldn't process the enormity of it. Every promise, every dream, every plan we had made shattered. And she didn't care. Not a bit. She had chosen her pleasure over us, over me, over everything. I realized then that nothing could ever bring her back. Nothing could undo the betrayal, the deliberate choice, the deliberate joy she had taken in destroying our trust. I stood up slowly, feeling like my body belonged to someone else, feeling the crushing weight of finality. I left the hotel that morning, alone, broken, haunted by laughter and moans that would echo in my mind forever. Emily remained, untouched by guilt, untouchable in her delight, living in a world that no longer included me. And that was the worst part. The Emily I loved, the one I thought I knew, was gone. Completely, utterly, irrevocably gone.